This is the Living in Havering podcast.
Welcome to the Living in Havering podcast. I'm Ben Vaughan. This is your monthly community-focused podcast series where we head out into Havering and speak directly to residents, businesses and partners about the big issues affecting them. In this episode, we explore how residents can look after their physical and mental health and well-being as we start the new year. We'll take a look at the wide range of options available for those struggling to make ends meet. And we'll be putting your questions to the leader of the council, Cllr Ray Morgon, in our exclusive monthly Leaders Question Time. Now, as we shake off the indulgence of Christmas and welcome in the new year, many Havering residents will be making resolutions to get fit and healthy this year. Living's Yvonne Lamoth has been out in the borough to see what's on offer for local people to help with their exercise, mental health, and the positive changes we can all make to live a healthier lifestyle.
This is the Living in Havering podcast.
As we head into the new year, Havering is helping residents to look after their health and mental well-being and stay fit and healthy in 2026. I joined Deputy Leader Councillor Gillian Ford for her Reformer Pilates lesson at Sapphire Ice and Leisure Centre in Romford and chatted with the personal trainers about the wealth of activities happening across the borough that residents can do to keep fit.
So when you're ready, let's push down. Perfect. Think about driving your legs back, keeping the heels together, glutes together and inner thighs.
I'm Amy, I'm the fitness manager at Sapphire Ice and Leisure. So we currently have Reformer at Sapphire and it is a workout based on a Reformer bed and you're working your full body. It is using springs for resistance to make it easier and harder, and it is for absolutely everyone. I think at the moment it's such a craze. Everyone has seen how exciting, how much fun people are having in it, and it also works your full body.
So my name's Charlie and I am a personal trainer at Everyone Active here in Romford. So we've got a few sites dotted around Havering. If you come to Everyone Active Sapphire Ice and Leisure, you've got the ice rink upstairs, you've got the gym facilitated in the middle of the building, and you've also got swimming downstairs, which you can do as a public swim or you can do lessons. You've also got one at Harold Hill, which is Central Park Leisure Centre. They've got a paddle site there. Whether it's playing for fun, whether it's for the community or whether it's competition, you can go there, pay for a court and have a really good time playing paddle.
Taking part in exercise is just one part of keeping fit and healthy, so I spoke to Sarah Balser at Havering Mind about the support they can offer to anyone struggling with their mental health.
The Havering Mind is a mental health and wellbeing charity. We are helping anybody that lives in the borough who are maybe struggling with a bit of anxiety or maybe have some complex mental health issues. We are supporting everybody to hopefully live a better life and live the life that they want to lead.
And what kind of support are you actually providing?
Well, it ranges. We deliver about 16 different services supporting people at different stages in their lives. We support babies through our Mums Matter programme, so we work with mums and babies, right through to our Meaningful Activities programme, which is a programme for elderly people with severe and enduring mental health concerns.
So Sarah, have you seen an increase in the number of people contacting Mind over winter? And if so, what kind of support is available for them?
I do appreciate that winter time is a time when people sometimes, because of the weather, the darker nights, people can be lonely, and therefore that can sometimes make people feel more anxious. But the great thing is that Havering has got a lot of different organisations and activities that people can get involved in, some delivered by us at Mind in Havering, Barking and Dagenham, but lots of other organisations as well, so people really shouldn't have to feel alone. Every year we see more and more people coming and asking for support. I think last year we supported over 4,300 people, and I can only see that continuing to increase year on year.
I also understand that the work that you do is free as well.
Our commitment is to the community, and we want to know that anybody that needs to access our services at any time isn't prohibited because of finances. Therefore, everything that we deliver here, all of our services are free at point of contact.
So if anyone would like some support from Mind, how do they get in contact with you?
Really easy. They can come and visit us at our office in Harrow Lodge Park. They can call us, email us, but the easiest way is probably to go onto our website if they've got access online. It's haveringmind.org.uk. Everything they need to know, all of our services are listed there, and all of the points of contact, the way they can get in contact with us are there as well.
After the excess of the festive period, many listeners may be considering cutting down their alcohol intake. Dry January is an annual initiative encouraging people to cut the booze for the whole month of January. I spoke to Linda Somerville in the Council's public health team about the benefits of taking part in Dry January.
Dry January started in 2013 and it's run by our national alcohol charity, which is called Alcohol Change UK. It runs from the 1st until the 31st of January. The plan is that you don't drink any alcohol at all during January, and it really just encourages people to take a bit of a break from alcohol, especially after the festive season. There's an app that can support you during the month, and there's a website.
So how does actually stopping drinking help?
So stopping alcohol for a month can just really start resetting your drinking habits. So, for example, if you're drinking slightly above recommended units per week, which is 14 units, that's roughly about 6 pints or 6 glasses of wine. So stopping alcohol for 4 weeks just means that you're kind of resetting your habits. Research has sort of found that if you start changing your behaviour, even if you do it for a 4-week period, it can increase the chances of long-term change. People report lots of improvements in both their physical and their mental health. So, for example, some people say that they lose weight because there's quite a lot of calories in alcohol and people aren't really aware of that. People say that their sleep improves and they have more energy. Your risk of developing cancers can reduce. And according to research, by reducing your drinking, you can also reduce your risk of strokes, heart disease, hypertensive diseases, and it could also start to increase your life expectancy.
Okay, that's great to hear. And I'm just thinking, we're actually well into January now. So is it too late to start?
I think it's never too late to start changing how much alcohol you drink if you're concerned about it or you think that you're drinking a little bit too much. If, however, you are drinking at a level whereby if you just suddenly stopped, you would get physical withdrawal symptoms, and you should always go and get proper medical help and advice before you would stop drinking. But for other people, then changing your drinking pattern over a month can be done at any time of the year and you'll still get all those lovely benefits from doing so.
So we're now joined by Councillor Gillian Ford, Deputy Leader for the Council and Cabinet Member for Adults and Wellbeing. Hello, Gillian.
Hello, Ben.
Thanks for joining us here on the Living in Havering podcast. And first of all, can I just say a very happy new year?
Thank you very much, and a happy new year to you and all our residents.
Great, thank you. Now, at this time of year, health and well-being is obviously at the front of people's minds. And on that note, we've just heard you taking part in a Pilates class.
Found it very, very different. I came home and I was quite excited about it, wanting to get my own Pilates bed.
I go to the gym sort of twice a week probably, but I have to say I did do a beginner's Pilates class once. It's much harder than you would think because it looks very gentle and soft, doesn't it?
Indeed, yes. You're getting some really strange contortions with your body, but I think it's well worth it.
Will you be going back?
I hope to, although the classes have been very full and they're wanting to extend and expand the number of classes we have.
It's good to hear you practicing what you preach as Cabinet Member for Wellbeing. We heard about Dry January from the public health team earlier, and we know they have a focus on helping people to stop smoking as well. Now, why is that a priority for the council?
So the impact of smoking and drinking in excess has a detrimental impact on health. We're getting preventable diseases. Cancers, for example, are historically now known for being part and parcel of smoking. Alcohol, we do know that alcohol has an impact on diseases like dementia, for example. So the more we can do in reducing our intake of those toxic elements, the better our own well-being and outcomes will be. But it also reduces pressure on our services. We are seeing more and more people with more complex needs coming into social care. And again, because they've not looked after their own weight, smoking and drinking, it then just puts more pressures onto local services as well as on the individual.
Absolutely. And you touched on there about healthy weight as well. And alongside the stop smoking and Dry January work the council's been doing, we've also launched the Tackling Obesity strategy, or the Healthy Weight strategy, back in 2024. Now, I'm going to ask you what you can tell me about that, but also a question that a lot of people ask is, do you not think that, telling people not to drink or, not to have a fast food or whatever is a little bit nanny state?
Okay, so we've all heard the message and we all know exactly what we need to do, but do we actually do it? The Healthy Weight strategy, we have been working with multiple partners and agencies across Havering, from schools to gyms, to GPs, to the hospital, looking at absolutely everything we can to help people to help themselves.
Excellent. Now, on the 31st of December, we all scream Happy New Year, and then we go headfirst into January, which actually many people consider the most depressing time of the year. They've obviously got no money after Christmas.
Yeah.
The weather's
It's my
pretty
birthday. I know how depressing it is.
Yeah, there you go. So the topic of mental health is always important at this time of year. So we spoke to Havering Mind as part of this episode. But what is the council doing to help those who are struggling perhaps with their mental health issues? What kind of support is out there for them?
We do have a website that has lots of information on there about mental well-being. We have had a suicide prevention strategy put in place. We've put lots of adverts out across social media for people that are feeling incredibly low, so that they can have those contacts and that they're not alone. The council is making sure that we do get the right narrative out there and that the stigma is removed, because we do know how fragile individuals we are. We have, through the Havering Place-Based Partnership, set up the Mental Health Cafe, and it's a drop-in for people who need that support and advice. But it's interesting that mental health can actually be triggered with people who have autism and neurodiverse problems and issues, and the lack of diagnosis. So we have got our all-age autism strategy, which is there to support all age groups, and hopefully we can challenge some of those mental health issues that particular group have experienced in the past.
Great. Well, it's good to know there is a whole wealth of support which is available to you, and you can find out more on the council's website. So just lastly, Gillian, we heard you taking part in the Pilates class. Are you generally a sporty person, and what kind of things do you do to stay fit?
So I like table tennis and badminton. They are two sports that I've grown up with. I do run around indoors, bizarrely. If I'm sitting working, I will get up and do a run around. And I've got a little set of weights that sits next to me. So in between, I will sit and do some arm exercises and things. So I do what I can when I can.
Yeah, keep moving, I think is the message, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Gillian, for joining us here on the Living in Havering podcast. It's been good speaking to you, and we wish you all the best for 2026.
Thank you very much indeed, Ben.
You're listening to the Living in Havering podcast.
You're listening to the Living in Havering podcast. Now, January is always a challenging month, particularly after Christmas, with extra costs over the festive period, meaning people who are already finding things difficult with the cost of living often find themselves further in debt and struggling to make ends meet. Living's Shefali Gore joins us now.
Hi.
Hey, Shefali, now you've been out and about in the borough to find out more about the help that is available from the council and our partners to help local people and families who are feeling the pinch now more than ever.
Yes, I've been out speaking to partners to understand and make residents aware about what help and support is available locally. I first spoke to Jan, who's been an advisor at Havering's Citizens Advice for the last 10 years. For anyone who doesn't know, Citizens Advice is a local charity that provides free advice on a wide range of issues. Anything like benefits, debt, housing, employment, or even help with applying for government support such as universal credits. I asked Jan what the main issues people in Havering are struggling with right now in her experience, and what kind of support they can get from Citizens Advice.
The key issues that we help people with, always the top three, are benefits, housing and debt. And within debt, energy debt, certainly I as an advisor have seen an increase in energy debt. There is often help out there, but people just don't know about it or don't know how to access it. We can give food bank vouchers and energy vouchers for those people who are on a low budget, a low income, and need that extra support. Loads of our clients have been in a situation where they're afraid to open letters, they're afraid to answer the phone. We can just then be a buffer between them and their creditors, because we can say, right, okay, we can write to their creditors and say that this person is now working with us, and we'll be the people who will deal we'll make the phone calls to the different companies and arrange an affordable repayment plan.
So that all sounds really valuable, and personally speaking, I have used Citizens Advice in the past and they've been brilliant every time. But Citizens Advice, Shefali, is just one charity that the council works with.
Yes, that's right. There are also other charities in Havering like Smile who can help with things like clothes and food.
And as well as all the support and help that the charities offer, the council also specifically have offers of help and support out there for residents too.
Yes, absolutely. One of the main sources of support is the Emergency Assistance Scheme, which is funded by the UK government's Household Support Fund. So since launching, this scheme has received more than 22,000 applications and has helped residents with essentials like food, bills, heating, and general household items.
And as we've already said, this time of year in particular is very difficult and challenging for families who may be struggling to put food on the table and so forth following the expense of Christmas. Christmas is obviously a great time, but very difficult time financially for a lot of people. So have we done anything over the Christmas period specifically to help families struggling?
Yes, over the Christmas period, as part of the Emergency Assistance Scheme, around 855 families received an additional £125 Christmas payment on top of their usual payment. And some of these households included 5 or more children, and it really highlights the difference this kind of help can make for bigger families in Havering.
Absolutely, and it is really good to know that that help is out there and people are using it and benefiting from it as well. We mentioned this actually in the first episode of the podcast, the council's Energy Doctors service, which is an additional help for people.
Yes, absolutely. We are continuing to promote this service. It offers free home visits from an energy expert. It's open to all Havering residents. These visits can provide energy advice and make small practical improvements within the house with LED light bulbs, radiator foils, and draught proofing if required.
And it is really making a difference. Families saving lots of money from those energy doctor visits.
Yeah, that's what the feedback has been, and that's why we're continuing to promote the service. If residents are also looking for in-person help, we also have community hubs in the borough.
Okay, so the word hub is bandied around a lot. We hear lots of different hubs. What are community hubs in reality?
So the Rainham Library and the Harold Hill Library are our two main community hubs. They offer in-person support. So for anyone looking for face-to-face help and doesn't know where to go, this is your place to go. Residents who need help accessing different services or just finding cost of living support or just want to speak to someone, they can come to the hub.
And it isn't just advice and support, I understand, because the hubs also run a food pantry service. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, both hubs host food pantries that can provide affordable, good quality, discounted groceries. I actually spoke to Eleni, who manages the Harold Hill food pantry, and this is what she said.
My name is Eleni, and I'm managing the pantry here at Harold Hill above the library, Harold Hill Community Shop, which is open to all Havering residents. We open 2 days a week, every Tuesday and Thursday between 1 to 4. Residents can only come once a week for shopping. We charge £6 the attendance, and then you get up to £30 worth of food or non-food items as well, that we have plenty. With these £6, you get the chance to get your meat, fish, tin food, and then you get extra lots of fresh produce like vegetables and fruits. Also accessing the pantry here, you're able to access other services that we provide here in the community hub.
And just to clarify, Shefali, that is open to anybody?
Yes, it is open to anyone. There's no need to book. Residents can just drop in during the opening times of the hub and just speak to a member if you need help.
Well, that sounds like a really valuable service, especially if people are struggling to put food on the table, and understand that this is a service that's been running a while and that people are using it and benefiting from it.
Absolutely. I did speak to some people visiting the hub and using the food pantry.
Well, I actually come because my daughter's in trouble at the moment with problems, and we give her a lot of stuff we get from here.
And they're very nice here, very caring.
Yeah.
You don't feel under pressure or anything. I'm nearly 80. Your money's got to spread out, and it's hard.
So we've spoken about the offers of support out there, and it's good to know there is so much. But what about people who are perhaps trying to budget better or, bills coming in? It's difficult to keep on top of it all.
Yeah, so for anyone looking to just budget better or keep track of their spending, the council has partnered with Superfi. So Superfi is an app that helps people manage their bills better, and you can even earn rewards for paying them on time. So I spoke to Tom, who is the CEO of Superfi, about the kinds of discounts they offer and what the app does.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm co-founder and CEO of Superfi. Superfi is an app that helps people manage their bills, earn rewards for paying them on time, and to save money on their shopping.
Why do you think that residents should use this app versus all the other apps on the App Store?
So we see that Superfi has been really popular with people who are looking to track their spending, looking for new ways to save money and earn rewards for doing things like paying their bills on time. And we've also seen that our discounts with major shops like Aldi and Tesco have been really popular, as these allow people to save up to 5% on their weekly shop.
So just to reiterate then, you get budgeting advice from the app and you also get free rewards to boot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's open to everyone.
Yes, it is free to download for all Havering residents. You just need to download the app from your respective app store. And during registration, you'll see a prompt to enter a code. So if you write Havering in capital letters, you'll get access to the free app.
Well, that's great to hear, and I'll be sure to do that. So, Shefali, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast. It's been really, really interesting and I think useful to hear about the different help and support that's out there for people who may be feeling the squeeze, especially at this time of year.
Yeah, and if residents want to get more information or know more about these services, all information is available on the website. So if you go to the Havering website and look for financial help and advice, that particular web page will give you all the information you need.
Excellent, and thank you so much again. And at the top of the podcast, Shefali, we were talking about New Year's resolutions, health goals, fitness goals, that type of thing. How's that looking for you?
So I will sound cliche when I say this, but I did join the gym, and in my definition of being consistent, I have been until now, and I plan to do so for the next year, next few months, or actually the whole year as well.
Well, I mean, you're doing well so far. You've been every week this year so far, so I think that's an achievement.
Yes, that is. How about you?
Pretty much like you, actually, going to the gym more and probably scaling back on the takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again for joining us, Shefali.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Living in Havering podcast.
You're listening to the Living in Havering podcast. Now it's time for the part of the podcast where we put your questions to the leader of Havering Council, Cllr Ray Morgon, in our monthly Leaders Question Time. So Ray, welcome along, and firstly, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Benjamin.
Now, how's 2026 started off?
As usual, very, very busy. Obviously, there's things that do get deferred over the festive period, but things are rapidly picking up. And of course, got our budget setting next month, so there's a lot of issues around budgets at the moment.
And back in December, you said that all you wanted for Christmas was a good government settlement. Did you get that?
Not as good. It's better than I think we were originally expecting, but not as good as we were hoping for. And there's still lots to do around the budget, really, although the government has committed itself to have a fairer funding system. From a Havering point of view, I don't think it's near there yet. So there's a lot more work to do to make the budget that we have, and many councils have around the country, making them fair and sustainable.
Okay, well, we'll of course be continuing to share all of the budget news as we head towards budget setting over the next few months. Right, now Ray, we've received a lot of questions for you since last month. We won't unfortunately have time to get through all of them, but we will try to get through as many as possible. So diving straight in, the first question comes from Anne and Jean. Can you give assurance that there is going to be an election in May?
Absolutely so, yes. All London councils have an election this May. I think what people hear on the TV is a number of elections are being cancelled. That is where the council in question is going through local government reorganisation, and in some cases, like our neighbours in Essex, they haven't finalised yet how they're going to reorganise themselves.
I think that's the confusing thing, isn't it? Because Havering does obviously border Essex. It's very close to Essex, and people affiliate themselves with Essex. So when they're seeing that in the news, that Essex elections aren't happening, they're wondering, is that the same in Havering?
Absolutely, 100%. The elections will be taking place in Havering in May.
Okay, there you go. On to the second question then. This comes from John. Are you going to oppose the potential removal of the Freedom Pass from the London Underground? Just remind us what the Freedom Pass is, first of all.
Well, the Freedom Pass is obviously the pass for the people. It's in effect free transport in and around London, and obviously it's not something we have direct control over. However, we do know how important the Freedom Pass is to our elderly residents in the borough, so we will certainly be supporting ensuring that the Freedom Pass remains in place. But as I say, we don't have direct control over that.
But if there was a motion or a plan to remove the Freedom Pass from the London Underground, where would you stand on that?
Well, no, it would certainly be against any proposal to cancel the Freedom Pass in any way.
All right, moving on then, Ray. Third question comes from Duncan and David, both asking about the ongoing issue with the fires at Launders Lane down in Rainham. So first of all, can you please give us an update on the progress to stop those fires?
Yes, obviously we've been working with the landowner, who ultimately is responsible for the site and the long-term plan and remediation of the site. But in the interim, what we are doing, we're going to be engaging with a company that will be able to provide what we would call a temporary solution to stopping the fires, or at least reducing the impact of them. And they're certainly doing work on that at the moment. In fact, Cabinet last week agreed the sort of contractual, or in principle contractual arrangement with the company, who are currently carrying out drone surveys on the site to ensure that they are fully aware of the potential amount of work that's required.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to learn more about those temporary measures which are being proposed and worked on, you can either sign up to the Launders Lane email newsletter on the council's website, or you can view the full cabinet report as well. There was a follow-up question to this, Ray, and that is, why is it only now that the council's taking action? This has been an ongoing problem for years. Why has the council not done anything until it's had its hand forced to do so? Do you think that's a fair comment?
Well, obviously, when we came into administration back in May 22, at a very early stage, it got brought to my attention about the fires and the problems of Launders Lane. I have to admit that prior to that, I didn't have massive knowledge about it. In fact, it wasn't something that was regularly discussed. But obviously since May 22, we've had a lot of work that's been carried out, various, for example, soil surveys, we've done asbestos testing, all sorts of things. We've had regular public meetings, regular updates to residents through newsletters, and we've now got a WhatsApp group. So we've certainly had a key focus on trying to resolve this long-standing issue. It's not easy, it's quite a complicated situation, particularly obviously when we don't own the site itself, so we are reliant upon working with the landowner, and obviously we can't just go on the site without his permission. But we have been actively working on trying to get a long-term solution for the site.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to move on, and our next couple of questions take us to Romford, the first of which comes from John, who asks, can you stop the construction of the new mosque in Romford? It's not wanted by local people, it's not our culture or religion, and will be a blight.
Right, well, the thing is like any development anybody wants to put in the borough, they have to go through a formal planning process. And if a plan application that's been submitted meets national, local, and because we're a London borough, mayoral guidelines, then the planning authority would be suggesting that particular application is right for approval. Now, some of the plan applications do have to go to the Strategic Planning Committee for approval, but others can be be delegated to the respective planning officer.
Sure, I mean, it's quite a broad statement, isn't it, as well, to say it's not our culture or religion, and I know that you're very keen on championing an inclusive borough.
Yeah, and the thing is that what we do know is that the Muslim population in Havering is rapidly growing, hence why there is this proposal to have a new mosque in the borough.
Okay, moving on. This comes from Mary. She says she's extremely concerned about how Romford is being overpopulated with flats without extra infrastructure. She says it's losing its local character and feels rough and dangerous at night, and Queen's Hospital is already overcrowded. This is a genuine concern from a lot of people. They're seeing houses and flats go up across the borough, not just in Romford, and the infrastructure doesn't seem to be coming with it.
Yes, it's very understandable, and it's obviously certainly an issue that we regularly sort of look at in terms of what can we do for improving our infrastructure. Now, there are certain things like hospitals and the like that we don't directly control. However, what we do have is situations whereby we can persuade some developers to put medical or school facilities within the proposal that they're putting forward. But of course, one of the other key things is that even with the physical infrastructure, the big problem in many cases is having the right personnel or levels of personnel within a hospital in order to meet the needs of the residents in the borough.
Of course, and I mean also there's the transport as well, isn't there?
Yes, obviously from a transport point of view, we've certainly spent quite a lot of time over the last few years in working with TfL, and we do have a reasonably good relationship with TfL, and we have clearly seen for the last year or so that there is certainly movement in improving the transport infrastructure within Havering, but we're still working on that because one of the key areas that we've been working on is trying to get a better connection from the north to the south of the borough and vice versa, because at the moment the links aren't particularly great, and we're certainly still pressing to get a station at Bean Park, and I'm quite hopeful, and certainly the feedback I'm getting is that the likelihood of a station being approved at Bean Park this year is increasingly looking good.
Yeah, mood music sounding positive there.
It is.
Okay, moving on, Ray. The next question comes from John, who asks, when are private owners of care homes going to be taken to task on the extremely high weekly rates they charge residents?
In terms of what these businesses charge, it's down to them. It's not down to the council. The council do not have control over what a private business charges its residents for using that particular facility. Now, whether it's something that central government can step in and have some control over, who knows? Now, of course, where the council are having to fund a resident being in a care home, there is a kind of maximum charge that we would be prepared to pay, and therefore the difference between that level and the level which the business itself is charging, the difference would have to be funded by the resident or his or her family.
In short, the council don't have control over the care homes, but we do pay the care homes to place people there when we need to.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks, Ray. Next question comes from Len. Could you please tell me how much a month we are paying for asylum seekers to stay in hotels and money payouts? This is a very hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, the answer to that is nothing. It's actually the Home Office that funds any places where people stay that are asylum seekers.
And is it right to say that at the moment in Havering there are no hotels being used for that purpose?
That's, as I understand it, yes, there are none. There have been in the past, but at this moment of time, there are none.
And does the council have any control over where the Home Office would place asylum seekers in the borough?
No, it's down to the Home Office actually have a company that does the sort of research around where they want to accommodate and house asylum seekers. So it's not the Home Office directly, but yeah, no, we have no control over these kind of things.
There's often a misconception that people's council tax are paying for asylum seekers or migrants to stay in these hotels and B&Bs, but again, that's incorrect.
No, that's incorrect, because obviously it's funded by the Home Office and that comes out of the general taxation that goes to the government.
Okay, thanks for clearing that one up. We are sadly out of time for this month. Thanks so much for all the questions that we did receive. If we didn't get round to your question, we will send all queries on to the leader or to the relevant council department, or by all means try again next month. You can email living@havering.gov.uk. Just before you go, Ray, one more question, kind of topic of this podcast, New Year's resolutions.
I haven't set any personally. Obviously, what I sort of say is that I believe that during the time of our administration since May 22, I do think that we've made a number of improvements to the borough, but the list is not an exhaustive list. One of the things that does hold us back is our finances, but within the sort of financial envelope that we have available to us, I do believe that we provide a pretty good service to our borough and to its residents.
All right, thanks again, Ray, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, Benjamin.
You're listening to the Living in Havering podcast.
Well, that's it for episode 2 of the Living in Havering podcast. We'll be back in February for more deep dives into the borough and the people that make it a great place to live, work and visit. If you have a story you think others want to hear or a burning question for the leader of the council, please get in touch by sending an email to living@havering.gov.uk. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, and of course follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor and now WhatsApp too. And if you don't already get it, make sure to sign up to the Living in Havering email newsletter. It's our free weekly bulletin keeping you up to speed with the latest news and events from Havering and those all-important council service changes you don't want to miss. You can subscribe on our website at havering.gov.uk/newsletters. Thanks again for listening and we'll see you next month. The Living in Havering podcast was presented by Ben Vaughan, the producer was Will Taylor, and the executive producer was Marcus Chrysostomou.